Let me start. Yeah, let me know, guys, once you can see.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So, yeah. So yesterday's concept, right? Do you have any confusion to understand it? We discussed about reflection class, right? How to create objects, how to access methods, how to access variables during runtime. Generally, until now, we are aware that how to create object using new keyword and how to call methods using object, that we well aware. So that's a normal way of coding. Okay, but if you want to design a framework and if you want to create objects during runtime, and if you want to access methods runtime, and if you want to access variables during runtime, okay, accessing constructors, methods, and variables using reflection API, we can access them. Anyway, I wanted to keep it aside, and let's discuss Spring now. Okay, we are going to start with the Spring framework. Okay, as per our content, we will start with this Spring framework. Okay, we will start with Spring framework. Once we complete with this, we will start Spring Boot and microservices. Okay, so as part of Spring framework, we should understand how all these modules will fit into application development, where exactly we will use them. Okay, they are like your, let's say if you are building a car, how car's parts will be aligned together, right? Like steering, wheels, seats, engine, how you will fit together. Similar way, during your application development, we need to use all these concepts together to build a application. It depends on your application. You may need 2 or more modules. Okay. Yeah, let me draw a simple MVC diagram and let me explain you there how this Spring framework is useful for your application development. I'm drawing MVC diagram here again. View, controller, and model. Let me draw it as a bigger one. Okay. So views, controller's responsibilities, we know, right? View is for presentation layer. Controller is a mediator between your model and view. For any application, right? Web applications, which are especially web applications or microservice based, whatever you call web applications or microservices, or any small scale enterprise. Price doesn't matter. Okay, so enterprise applications, web or microservice based or enterprise applications, whichever you build, we follow MVC architecture. Okay, we follow MVC architecture. This is the basic architecture you must aware. Okay, there are many architecture patterns. There are many things that you may aware or not, but at least you should well aware of MVC, because logical separation you have to do. Whatever class you write, whatever views you write or controllers. So by following MVC, if you want to implement any web application, for example, any web application, like I wanted to build one web application for food delivery, like Swiggy, or I wanted to develop one application to maintain my inventory management system. I wanted to do or implement e-commerce. I wanted to sell items from my shop to everyone using web application. Let's say you have a store, there you are selling everything. Okay, so I wanted to sell that items through online via web application. So here to implement this MVC application, what technologies we have to implement views, starting with
JSP.
views? Yeah, very basic thing that we use, HTML, right? We can use CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, and we can use mobile UI also. Correct? Coming to presentation layer, we can use them, and part of Java we have JSPs also. JSP, JSTL tag libraries we can use to design views, dynamic views. Correct? Tag libraries we can use and JSPs. These are part of Java. Otherwise, we have many other technologies that we can use to implement presentation layer views part. Clear? Okay. So we know what all things that we can use to implement our presentation layer. Is this font visible? Yeah, it is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can use these technologies to design our views. Okay. Now coming to controller. So far, which technology you know that will receive request from presentation layer and it can able to read? When we submit data from HTML page, what technologies you are aware which can able to
Servlet.
read? Servlet. So as part of controller, we can use servlet classes. Servlet or JSP also we can use. Maybe that is bad practice. JSP also we can use, right, as a controller. So whatever the practice is, JSP also you can use to read the request. You guys aware of it, right? Not only servlet, JSP also you can put. Okay. What apart from JSP and servlets or JSPs? Filters. Yeah. So servlets, filters, listeners, maybe that all concepts belongs to servlet concepts. Apart from it, yeah, in early, 2003 or before that, 2001, Struts came into the market. Struts framework,
To
Apache
read the
Struts.
request, right?
Yeah.
Express Node.js, Express Node.js.
Yeah. As you are from Node.js, we can use Express Node.js concepts, right? Especially
Yeah.
Node.js. This is a different technology. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
Node.js also helpful. Correct.
Mm.
Node.js, or in .NET we have .NET MVC, ASP.NET. Okay, not belongs to Java, but yeah, these all are not part of Java. As a Java developer, we can use all these front-end technologies. Okay, no compromise here for front-end. When it comes to back-end, Node.js, MVC, ASPs, we will not use. If you want to implement back-end side using Java, okay, but these are the other alternatives. Okay, whenever you hear Node.js, we are using, okay, so that may be alternative for our servlets and JSPs kind of. Okay, in .NET they have .NET MVC, .NET ASPs, like our JSP servlet concepts. Yeah, in Java, apart from these, right, in Java, what else we have? Struts framework we have. They build this Struts framework on top of servlets only. Internally they are using servlets only. Okay, so they created one framework, one wrapper above the servlet, on top of servlet. Struts framework design. Struts 1x is very popular. Struts 1.x is very popular. Okay, and Struts 2x also they introduced. Struts 2x also they introduced, but by that time Spring came into the market and it is started ruling, because with many features and with minimum development, lot of things we can achieve in Spring. So Struts and JSF, they slowly faded out. JFS, JSF, sorry, Java Server Faces. We can use JSF concepts. What else we have? Spring MVC. Right? Spring MVC also you can use as part of, let me highlight this, okay, as we are going to discuss it, right? Spring MVC we can use here. And security, are you handling security after getting data to your controller, before getting data to controller?
Before getting.
Before getting only. So security also somehow you need to apply here only, right? Before your data passing to controller only, you should check whether the user, whoever is sending, is authorized user or unauthorized user. How do you verify? Using security, you will verify it. Okay, some kind of security logic you should have here. Either you implement it or use Spring Security. Okay, Spring MVC will help you to read the data here. Spring MVC part is what? Basically, you can say controller part, it will handle reading and writing and sending responses. Okay, and whereas security will work like a filters concept. Okay, it will work like a filter concept. It will do all the security checkings. It will do security checkings, whether the request is authorized request or not. If it is unauthorized, it may decline the request. It won't accept this user data. If you are sending hello from here, if he is not an authorized user, he will say, it will say you are unauthorized. I will not reply to you. But if he is authorized, it may send response. It will give the response back. Okay. So here security also will fall into the controller part. Spring MVC security. What else we can use here apart from MVC and security? Anything else?
Spring Boot.
Again, Spring Boot is wrapper on top of this only. Concepts are same.
So it's like a middleware, Spring
Yeah.
Security.
Maybe you wanted to call it middleware. Middleware means it's a different, it is having different meaning.
Actually, Node.js account.
Mm.
No, I'm just comparing.
Mhm.
In Node.js, we call middlewares, and first the request will go to middleware, and from the middleware, it will go to controller.
No,
In
no,
the
middleware
only-
means, yeah, no, that is not middleware actually. That's a gateway.
Okay.
Gateway, right? You may use cloud
Actually,
gateways.
no, not like that. Generally, in the application,
Hmm.
before the request is being sent to the controller, we will keep some functions, and in that we will write middlewares to check
Okay,
whether it's authorized or not, according to
okay,
Node.js. So
okay,
that's why
okay.
I'm comparing this one.
Acha, acha. Okay, in Node.js, you have a similar concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, Node.js also having similar concept only, auto wiring concepts, constructors, similar. I mean, if you are aware of Node.js,
Mm.
during, while coding or while looking into this MVC code or boot code, right? You can
Mm.
compare, many things are similar.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So even in .NET MVC also, everyone will follow the, similar patterns, mostly. Algorithm, keywords might be different, but the concepts would be same. Okay. So Spring MVC, Spring Security we can use here. Spring Security will help you to protect from the unauthorized user. So security will fall here. Spring Security will fall here. So Spring Security module may be useful here before your MVC fall into the place. Security will be here. So after Spring Security, MVC will receive the request. So it will read and it will send the data to model layer. It will send data to model layer. So the model is the main part where many modules will fall into the place. Many modules we will use here. Many Spring modules we will use here. Only until here what we see, MVC and security only, right? MVC and security, only two modules you see. Apart from these two, okay, apart from these two, what about other modules where we use them? Yeah, in model, we use them in model. So what we use in model, basically in model, we will be having so many classes, business classes, or you can call services. You will have repository classes, repo. Repository. Okay. Apart from these two, business and repository, you will have some services. You will have some other services like logging. Add-on services we will have a lot of, right? We will do logging, transactions, transaction services you will have, log services you might have, mailing services you might have, SMS services you might have. Apart from the business logic, you might need, let's say if you are doing, after fund transaction or after booking your food, you may want to send one email to the customer that your order is taken, and you may need to send one SMS, right? So all other additional or add-on services also will be implemented as part of model. Many additional services we might require here. Okay, so you can call it as services. Add-on services you might have here. Okay, so here to implement business code, simple core Java logic must be enough. Okay, but in Spring, right, along with your core Java concept, you might need to use few Spring core concepts here, like auto wiring concepts, such. Okay, so Spring core module you may need to use here. Not only here, Spring core is everywhere, but especially for Spring business layer, you may use Spring core, and if you want to apply AOP concepts like logging, transaction, mailing services, code, if you want to adopt into your business, AOP you can use. So what AOP will generally do, logging, you all aware, right? Logging we write everywhere in every method. During our request passing to method, and after method execution also we'll write log. And in exception cases also we'll put logs. You all aware, right? So consider you have 10 business classes or 100 business classes. Each business class is having 5 methods. So altogether, if you have 500 methods, in 500 methods, while method starting and ending, you need to write log.info something before and after 2 times for each method. And in exception block also, you may need to write log.error something. So you may put this code for each method. A simple example I'm giving you, okay? 3 times. Okay, so 500 into 3, 1500 times you may need to write that logic. 1500 times you may need to write logging logic here. To avoid that, if you can use AOP, right, only write 3 lines of code separately here, and you can apply that common logic. You can apply that common logic to your business. At runtime, this logic will be applied to your business code. You need not to bother about it. You need not to write 1500 lines of code here. Instead, just keep that 3 lines of code here, and using AOP concept, you can assign that log to your business class. So during runtime, these logs will be automatically applied. Okay, so using AOP, we can achieve it. So, it's a powerful, API, AOP. It will apply any add-on services during runtime to your business layer. Okay, not only here, you can apply anywhere. It's a simple concept, but powerful concept. It is something like your OOPS concept. Okay, OOPS are having some limited features, whereas AOP is having so many other great features. During runtime, it will do a lot of things for us. Okay, and Spring Core and AOP you can use here. Apart from these two, while doing business operations here, let's say if you are doing fund transfer, fund transaction to one ICICI account to another HDFC account. So while doing fund transactions, you transferred your amount from your account. Okay, you logged in, and for your friend, he requested for rent, so you are sending to him. So while sending, something went wrong. His HDFC servers went down. Your side amount deducted, but while crediting into HDFC account, it failed. So during that particular transaction, what your business class need to do, if fund transfer is not success to other party, it should able to roll back your transaction also. If it is already, did some updates to your database, if you have 1 lakh and if it already done minus 10,000, your amount will be 90,000, and that remaining 10 not transferred to your friend. Your friend side account or services were down. Okay, so it should able to roll back the previous transaction. Whatever you did in case of failures, it should able to roll back it. So in such case, you can utilize here Spring transactions. You can use here Spring transactions. Okay, Spring transaction module you can use here to maintain consistency in your database operation. Okay, to maintain ACID properties, you can use Spring transaction, atomicity, consistency, isolation properties, all you can apply here. Okay, so Spring transaction module also you can use here. Okay, and what else? Repository. Repository job is, once your business logic is executed successfully, if you want to keep data into database, or if you want to select data from database, to whom you will contact? Repository. Repository will actually talk with your databases. Repository is the place where actually it will talk with your database. So from here to here, repository will talk with database. So what Spring modules will help you here for this repository means, before Spring, we used to use JDBC here, plain JDBC. You may use plain JDBC. Do you have any other option apart from JDBC? Nothing else, right? So you can use JDBC. On top of JDBC, in 2003 around, Hibernate also came into the market. But before Hibernate also, we used to have similar framework. Okay. EJB entity beans. EJB entity beans also we can use here. EJB entity beans concept. This is like Hibernate. The same team developer, right, who first started with this EJBs, he designed Hibernate. What is his name? Gavin King. He designed it. Hibernate or JPA you can use here. Now Spring came into the market, right? What Spring did, on top of JDBC and Hibernate, they designed Spring modules. On top of JDBC, Spring designed Spring JDBC module, and they made Spring JDBC operations simple. In general, in JDBC, what mistakes you may do while writing code? You may not close your connections properly, or you may not handle exceptions properly, or you may not pass arguments properly, or you may not aware how to iterate result sets properly. But whereas in JDBC, all that will be avoided in a simple way. In a single line, you can put your query, opening connections, closing connections, opening result sets, closing result sets, and giving results, iterations, everything it will take care internally. One layer they created on top of JDBC to simplify JDBC operations. Similar way for Hibernate also. In Hibernate also, we used to open session, and we used to begin transaction, and we save, we commit transaction, we close session. All that lines of code we need to write while doing Hibernate operations. So they avoided all that, and they created one more wrapper. Okay, they created Spring ORM. In a single line statement, you can able to do it. So all the other things they will handle internally. So that wrapper, so they created. They simplified JDBC and ORM as well. Okay, Spring ORM and Spring Data, which is the new module, Spring Data, in your Spring Boot concepts. They
ORM
simplified it.
and ORM and JDBC is for connecting to database, right?
Not only connecting, connection is required anyway to talk with database. Once after connection, you should able to do back and forth CRUD operations, right? Insert, update, delete, select. Yes. Once after
JDBC is for is for CRUD operations. ORM is for
ORM also for CRUD operations. Beyond the CRUD operations, it will do many other things. If you attend Hibernate, right, you will get the clarity. Okay. During Hibernate session, I'll give you, Brief
Okay.
idea. Why ORM? Beyond JDBC, why we need ORM or EJB entity beans concepts? Okay.
Mhm.
For you, you may feel it is not difficult to use JDBC. Okay, it's okay. We can use JDBC, but a lot of code you need to write. For rapid application development, using JDBC is not recommended. If you are, if you have very strict deadlines in 1 month, if you are going to implement 1 year code, using JDBC is not recommended. Okay, if you go with ORM concepts, they simplify the CRUD operations.
So they simplified Spring JDBC.
Yeah, simplified, and they added so many features like caching features, pagination features, relationships also. In JDBC, we don't maintain any database relationships. Database will have relationships here, right? Between each table. After normalization, we put relationship between each table. Right? Parent child table or one to many to one, many to many, such relationships we maintain, right?
Okay, okay.
Database entity relations. That relations JDBC is not aware, but whereas ORM will aware of it.
Okay.
ORM will
Spring data?
maintain this Spring data also.
Okay.
It is on top of ORM they designed it, that they simplified it. Generally, we used to write a lot of code. Consider if you go with JDBC for a simple application, consider if you are spending 30 days time. Okay. 30 days time, if you are spending with the JDBC, the same code you can achieve in, if it is 30 days time, Spring JDBC, whereas in Spring JDBC, the same thing you may implement it in 20 days. If you go with ORM, you may do it in 15 days. Okay. If you go with Spring ORM, it may be lesser than that, maybe something considered 10 days. If you go with the data, Spring data or Spring data JPA, sorry, Spring data JPA, you can call it. So if you go with Spring data, you may do it in 1 day. Okay, because nothing to write here in Spring data. You need not to do anything, just to create your entities. That's it. Everything on the fly Spring data JPA will implement for you. They
Will you
understand
show
that.
examples
Yeah, we
for
will
each
see.
of this, right? Yeah.
We will be covering. No,
Okay.
I mean, finally, this is what you will realize.
Okay.
If you clearly understand what is JDBC, Spring JDBC, what is ORM, and what is Spring ORM, and what is Spring Data JPA, then you will realize, okay, Spring Data is, if I go with Spring Data, nothing to worry about. In my recent project, which I am working now currently, my people started working in JDBC first. Okay. Basically, we are doing some kind of database migration activity for the banking application. They started using JDBC. I stopped them. I called them many times and I said, don't go with it. They said, we have problem with ORM. We sorted out the ORM problems, and finally, I recommended them to go with Spring Data. Now they are enjoying. They are not writing too much logic. Otherwise, they would have end up with the same database PLSQL logic in JDBC also. The migration is happening because of maintainability issue. In PLSQL, they have code. Whenever they want to do the changes, they are searching for the database developer. Quickly they are not finding them. So database migration become difficult to them. That's why they wanted to migrate that PLSQL code to Java. Okay. So even in Java also, if you again write the same queries using JDBC, what is the benefit? Again, it will become a big maintainability issue. Okay. That's why we migrated it to Spring Data. Now everything is simple. If new guy also joins to the project, or if any new team joins to the project, easily they can understand what's happening and they can add new features to it. Okay. Yeah. So Spring Data JPA or Spring JDBC, Spring ORM modules are useful here in this repository part. Okay. What modules we have here? Spring Core, JDBC, ORM, AOP, Transaction Security, MVC. We covered, right? All these modules. If I use all these modules, I can able to implement end-to-end MVC application, correct? So here two modules, MVC and security, and core module for business logic, AOP for adding logics on the fly, like your services logics, to maintain transactions, Spring transactions, Spring Jdbc, one more wrapper layer on top of Jdbc. So it will make Jdbc operations simple, and Spring ORM and Spring Data JPA. Okay, so this is how this modules will help you to implement your end-to-end MVC application, end-to-end MVC applications. Whereas Spring Core module, not only for business layer, Spring Core module is everywhere. Okay, throughout, for controllers, business repository, for all these, we can use Spring Core concepts. So Spring Core module is everywhere. Spring Core module is everywhere. Spring Core is everywhere. In Spring Core only we have containers. We use them. We use them to run all the controller classes, business or your services, repository. Everything will run on container classes only, which belongs to Spring Core module. Okay, so Spring Core we can't avoid. If you are touching Spring, means if you are using Spring Core. Okay, and based on your requirement, you need to pick these modules. Let's say Spring security is not a matter for you, you may need to use MVC. And if AOP is not using in your project, it's okay. Transactions doesn't matter, you may not use Spring transactions. Okay, and if database operations, if you don't have any database operations, you may not see them. But if you have the database operations, if team is recommended to Jdbc, you may go with Jdbc or Spring ORM or Spring Data. And what about Spring Boot? Spring Boot also have all these features. They simplified this logic. Same application development in plain Spring framework. Okay, if it is a online food delivery systems like Swiggy. Okay, I'm just giving example. Okay, if it is taking 6 months time in Spring framework, that you can minimize up to 2 months or lesser than that using Spring Boot. Okay, they made everything simple. Development time will reduce many times, and configuration management, everything is simple in Spring Boot. Okay, and what about microservices? Yes, same Spring Boot concepts will help you to achieve microservices. Whatever microservices recommended patterns we have, right? For all that patterns, we have solutions in Spring Boot only. So using Spring Boot, we will achieve microservices also. Okay, Spring Boot is a advanced framework than Spring framework. And what about the concepts? Concepts are same. Once you understand Spring framework, Spring Boot is nothing for you. It is like a cakewalk. Easily, you can able to understand all the concepts. Any doubts so far?
Naveen.
Yeah.
So what I am thinking is plain Jdbc, seeing plain Jdbc, Spring came up with Spring Jdbc. And using seeing Hibernate, Spring came up with Spring ORM. And Spring Data is a wrapper of Spring Jdbc and Spring ORM. I am thinking like that. Is it correct?
No, Spring Data is wrapper of Spring ORM only. On top of ORM only designed it.
Okay, on top of ORM. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Do you guys understand where this modules exactly fits? Okay. Spring MVC security will fall into controller layer. Okay, for controller. And Spring AOP transactions for business layer, including Spring Core. And we have Spring Mailing API also, you can use it. And in Spring Boot, we have SMS API also, you can use that. Okay, lot of APIs we have. Not only these, there are, I mean modules. There are many other modules we have. Mainly these are the modules that are sufficient in regular MVC development. Okay. So beyond this, if you see any module, it's not a difficult thing for you to understand. Let's say if they introduced some mailing, it's okay. You can easily find Spring Mail example and you can use it in your application. Anyway, we will see mailing concepts also. And here for repository, they use JDBC, Spring JDBC and Spring ORM modules. Are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So which module we have to understand first? Now you see this, right? You see all the modules. Which module you need to know first to learn other modules means you need to know Spring core module first. Without core module, you cannot run any of these modules without core modules, because core module came up with containers. We need to talk more about containers. Okay. Spring core module came up with containers. Without a container, you cannot able to run anything from Spring. If you want to run anything, you need a container. Without container, you can't do anything. If something is running in Spring means that is running on top of container only. In simple words, you can say server, like your Tomcat, like your WebLogic, for Node, like your Node servers. Okay. So containers we have in Spring core module. So we use that containers to run our application. Where exactly Spring application will run? It will run on Spring container. What about servlets and JSPs? These are not part of Spring, right? So what about them, servlets and JSPs if I implement? What about EJBs if I implement? Where they will run? If you use EJB concepts, EJBs needs a different container. Application server you need. EJB entity beans and EJB session beans. There are two types of beans in EJBs, entity beans and session beans. To run them, you need WebLogic or WebSphere application servers. We call them application servers. WebLogic or WebSphere kind of application servers are required. Without them, you can't run EJBs. Okay, they are application servers and paid servers. You need to pay them while using these concepts. So that's why whoever frustrated with this dependency, he designed this Hibernate. Okay, he designed Hibernate and made it free. All the features which are there in entity beans, he added in Hibernate. Now Hibernate is so much powerful one. On top of Hibernate only, this ORM JDBC also are running. So WebLogic dependency we have wherein EJBs. If you try to run your application in servlets, Struts, they all need Tomcat. A web server mandatorily required. A web server. Without web server, you cannot run them. Without web server, you cannot run them. Then what about Spring? For Spring, nothing required. You need Spring containers. They are part of your Spring library only. Then how it will receive request from U2 controller without servlet? Without servlet is nothing possible. Okay. So here we use only one single class that we will run in Tomcat. Tomcat also required. While implementing web application, Tomcat also required for you. There is only one class that we deploy. We call it as dispatcher servlet. This class, for only this class, we will use Tomcat. This is like a visa to us. Dispatcher servlet is like a visa to access application. Where this class will run, it will run on Tomcat. Only the single class, which is already pre-implemented in MVC library, we have it. Okay, to run this class only, we need Tomcat. Apart from that, whatever classes you will implement, your controller classes, business classes, let's say for your Spring Swiggy application, if you have, altogether 1,000 classes, all your 1,000 classes will run on top of Spring container only. Without container, no class will be executed. All these classes, whatever classes you implement here, everything will run on your Spring container only. And this container is not a special software that you need to download and put it somewhere. These containers are again Java classes. Okay, these containers are Java classes, like your file input stream, file output stream, how you will use to load a file. Similar way, we use these container classes. We create object of container. That container will create objects for all your classes. We create object of a container, and the container will create objects for your entire application classes. Okay, we will learn more and more about containers in upcoming sessions. Okay, we will be starting regular sessions from tomorrow. Okay, by tomorrow I would recommend everyone to get registered. Okay, I would recommend everyone to get registered, because we are going to start the regular modules from tomorrow. We'll start containers discussion. Once you understand these containers, we will go step by step, next layer. Okay, we will be discussing Jdbc, and then we will be discussing ORM, then we will be discussing AOP, transactions, and we will be discussing MVC, security, from back to front. This approach we will learn. Okay, we should not go from front to back here. From backend module to front end we will learn. Okay, so that we will be getting full hands-on knowledge. How to even application development also will go from back to front. Generally, I use this approach. Many will use, and of course, this is the dependency layer, right? Back to front. So this is how our development will go. First, we implement repository, then business, then controllers, then views. Okay, so that's why our learning pattern also from back to front. Okay, clear? Any doubts? Anyone new today? Let me share this. Okay, let me share this Teams link and WhatsApp link. Yeah, you please join here, everyone, right? You can see my number. As an admin, I have there, right? You can call me anytime. Okay, yeah. If you are new, please join there, and if you have any doubts, yeah, it is open for you. You guys understand or not? Are you guys clear with this concept?
Clear,
Yes,
sir.
So what I will do on a regular basis, okay, I'll create one quiz also. Okay, there are many open source quiz applications. I'll create a quiz. Some first to 5 minutes we will spend, like today's concept, right? As we discussed them on this topic, I'll create a quiz, and tomorrow morning I'll ask like that. Okay, so that we will be revising the things, and we can easily able to remember them. Okay, all that quiz will be shared with you on regular basis. We will do them. Okay, and yeah, till tomorrow this sessions will be available to you via YouTube. Thereafter I'll provide from my portal. Okay, so recordings also will be available for you.
Could you please increase the duration of the class?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what. Once the regular session starts, right, we need to stretch. Actually, we need to stretch 10 minutes or 15 minutes more to cover them. Okay,
Sir, are this video available now?
yes, this video is available.
Okay,
All
sir.
these videos will be provided to you from day 1 to till the end of the day, end of the sessions. Okay,
When it will be provided, sir?
once you get the confirmation, right,
Okay.
you will be getting them. Because if I share with I mean, who are not registered here, right, it may go wrong.
Okay,
So
sir.
once everybody registered, right, I'll be sharing with everyone. Okay,
sir. Okay.
How to get the confirmation?
after payment, send screenshots to them. Okay, they are sending me who all confirmed, feedback
Via
details.
mail?
Yeah, they shared you this, right? Their Google Pay
Yeah,
number, if you
yeah,
see in
yeah,
the chart, right? So just
yeah.
copy that information with you. Even I'll forward it in our group also. Once you done the payment, send one screenshot to durgasoftonlinetraining@gmail.com. And if you have any problem to send with them, forward it to me. I'll take care.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
In WhatsApp, I can send you the screenshot.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, along
Yeah.
with
Sir, how much?
any details, along with the screenshot.
Yes. So that
Yeah,
your
no,
transaction number, everything will be recorded, right? That
no, no. Along with the screenshot, is there any details I need to send in the WhatsApp?
put your
Any other details?
email ID. Your
Okay,
email ID is mandatory. Your email ID and mobile number. With your email ID only, they will create one paid link, Zoom paid link
okay,
that will be shared with us. Not Zoom, actually, go to meeting link we will get.
okay, okay.
So do we have classes on the 14th and 15th?
Hello, 14th, 15th is holiday, na?
Yeah, yes.
So let us hear from everyone tomorrow, okay? If they have any long weekend plans, we will give holiday on 14th. Otherwise, we'll spend. Let us hear from everyone.
But there will be no class on 15th, right?
15th would be no session. It's
Okay,
a
sir.
holiday, na? Let them
Okay.
enjoy. Yeah.
Naveen, can you confirm the name that comes in the GPay when we try to do the payment? Do you have any idea?
Sorry.
The number for the GPay which is given, if you could confirm the name that comes in the GPay.
What name you are getting?
Sheikh Sultan.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes, that is the
Yeah.
correct one. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. If any questions, doubts,
Yeah,
Uh,
Naveen.
let me know. Yeah.
We can increase the classes, right? Not 35 days, 60 to 60. We can take like that.
Number of days?
We can increase number of
Yeah,
days instead of
obviously
35.
it will go. 35 is their number just to marketing.
Yeah, yeah.
It is not
Because
possible in 30 days.
yeah,
Okay.
we want more content. That's why.
Yeah. I don't run. I mean, I don't want to go to example and మీకంటే ఎట్లా అంటే ఏదో కట్టె కొట్టే తెచ్చానట్టు చెప్తే పనికిరాదు సెషన్ మీకు ఏదో
అదే
సింపుల్
అదే.
గా వచ్చి వెళ్ళిపోయినట్టు ఉంటది. సో
Mm,
I don't want to do that. I don't want
mm,
make it like a short session. Okay.
mm,
So you need to understand clearly end to end why this topic is for, where it will fit, how to use. That's
mm,
how, independently you can able to pick up any work, or
mm,
independently you can able to design a system also.
mm.
Okay.
And daily ఏమైనా సెండ్ చేస్తారా మెయిల్ అని సంథింగ్ అండ్ క్లాస్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే ఈ స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ అండి
Yeah.
అంటే
This what we will do actually, I'll create one Google Drive link, Google Docs. In that Google Docs, I'll put everything.
ఓకే
I'll copy everything and I'll share that Google Docs link also.
ఓకే ఓకే
Nothing you will
డైలీ
miss. Okay. Daily basis.
ఓకే ఓకే
I'll make it as a public access link so that whatever I update, you will receive.
ఓకే ఓకే
Yeah.
Sir, how much fee for this course?
Fees is 7,000. Yeah.
Okay.
You have account details in chart. Okay. The chart is available, right? In that chart, they shared it. You have bank
And
account
how
details and Google Pay also. Yeah.
much day?
Duration is 55 to 60 sessions.
5 to
60 days. 60 days means 2 months. Excluding
okay.
weekends, it will go 2.5 months.
Okay.
Okay. Because we have fused content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, after completing our session, you will get one small project.
Project session also starting. One project,
Okay.
real-time project session. There I'll teach everything, like how to talk with the business, or how to be part of a team, what is agile or what is safe model or what is there are many project
No,
management
Naveen is
techniques. Yep.
asking
So you
he's asking in this current session
No,
whether you teach or not.
no, what I'm saying is
Mm.
to give a complete picture, this session projects are not sufficient. Maybe small CRUD operation applications he may see.
Yeah.
Correct.
Naveen, and one more thing. Spring MVC using these all core modules and Spring OS and Jdbc, 7 or 8 are there, right? Using all this, can we design one application at the last? Any application, whether how everything is fitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you will understand. How I am
That's why.
teaching is I'm teaching how to design tires, wheels, steering, body, engine, and finally I'm going to show you how to integrate them together to drive a car.
Yeah, that's it.
There
Okay.
you will realize, okay, this is how I need to design the entire system.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so much confident to deliver that. Don't worry.
Naveen, one more thing.
Yeah.
So, asking doubts in the middle of the session or asking doubts at the end of the session, what do you feel? Whether I am cutting you
During
or
no. During the session also, stop me wherever you find the difficulty. Maybe some others also might have the same doubt. They may not able to speak up.
Okay.
If you stop me there itself, once again we can clearly discuss that point and we will go ahead. Otherwise, what will happen once after the session, if you miss the point too, and what is the point in listening other points?
Yeah, that's
You
why.
miss the
Yeah.
connection, right? There itself, you should stop me. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Srinivas. Hello. Srinivas, are you speaking or it just unmuted? Hello. Okay.
no.
Oh, okay, Srinivas. Any questions? Yeah.
How often these videos and notes would be shared?
How?
No,
Often?
how frequently these notes and videos will be shared on daily basis or at the end of the session?
Not daily basis. Google document will be available immediately after every session. My material I'll send once everybody gets a confirmation, right? Video link and that one. Videos will be updated on daily basis.
Okay, sir. Just asking if you miss 1 or 2 classes.
No worries.
Yeah.
You can go with the video, and still if you have any session, you can reach out to me. Regular practice is required here. Okay. I mean, how we can compare this is, even if you have so much skills and if you miss the practice, you will not understand anything. Even if you are a poor guy and if you practice daily basis, you will get everything easily. You can able to design a system. So regular practice is required here. Otherwise, so many things we are discussing, and if you miss at least 4 or 5 days practice, in hand practice, you will miss many things. So regular practice is mandatory and simple also, right? To practice, all the examples are available. You just download and import them into your local machine and run it. That's it. And see how the flow is going on. For everyone, right, I'll show you the debug flow, how to put the debugger and how the flow goes, right? So during the session itself, last 5 minutes, I'll give you to execute it. So you guys can download in your machine and execute it. Please all attend from your laptops so that we can do that regular practice session also. Okay.
Naveen, one question.
Yeah.
Is there any virtual machine is there for practicing, or like can we use like our personal
personal machine only? No, we don't have that much luxury budget.
Right.
Anybody is available to help in installation?
Yes.
I need help.
I mean, you can ping me. I'll share his number.
Okay.
So he will be available. Maybe he will give some time slot. He will help you there.
Okay. It is mentioned like all other videos are also accessible till 6 months, right? Apart from this class or
see, earlier we used to share them via Google Drive.
Okay.
There in Google Drive, they have limitation, right? After 6 months, maybe that videos will be expired, or you will have streaming problem there. So
Okay.
what I am thinking is, instead of sending via Google Drive, I'm thinking to put it in a blog so that that will be available for lifetime.
Okay.
Getting?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
thank you.
that was the earlier practice. That's why they mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, is it possible to like share what concepts one should revise before attending a lecture? Just as a homework for
just CoreJava concepts. I
CoreJava.
mentioned to someone. So please go through these concepts as regular sessions are falling in, right? Let me share it with. I would recommend you all just to brush up your OOPS knowledge. Okay, go with all the inheritance in depth. What is inheritance? Maybe why I'm recommending is for AOP, right? If you understand OOPS concepts clearly, object creation, all the techniques. Okay, easily you will understand AOP concepts and all other object creation techniques, everything. Go with OOPS concept. Okay, collections. Collections also, just go with this list set implementations. And what else is mandatory? Exception handling, you all must aware, right? Exception handling. Nothing much required actually. Go with these concepts. Did I mention anything else apart from it?
Yes, sir. I think class.forname. You
Like,
mentioned to me only.
Reflection. Yeah.
You mentioned like runtime polymorphism.
Yeah. That we will discuss. You know, if I start discussing that today itself, you might deviate from these topics. Okay, after this container and auto wiring or dependence injection concepts, right? I will explain runtime polymorphism so that you can relate that concepts with this core concept. Then your realization or your foundation will be very strong.
Okay.
Okay, there I'll discuss. Yesterday I thought actually to start the discussion today, but if I do that discussion today, you will be deviating and your brain think in a different way. Okay, after the core concepts dependency injection, we will discuss that runtime polymorphism so that you will be getting, you know, a realization. Yeah, please brush up with this. That's it. Okay, nothing else required for me. Okay, if you have servlet knowledge and Jdbc knowledge, well and good. If not, also nothing to worry. Okay, we will be discussing them as well during our workshops. Are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Okay, so that is all for today. Please guys register as soon as possible today, if not by at least tomorrow. Okay, so I need to plan, you know, all the references, videos sharing with you, right? I need to plan that. Again, that will take some 2 days time to me. During weekend, I'll spend the time and I'll share it with everyone who all get registered. Okay, because long weekend I'm getting between, right? So there is enough time for me to you know, share it with you. If there are any upgradations required, I will do it and send.
Sir, after completing course, can you provide some calls for us?
Yeah, if you are a fresher, I can even provide you internship from my company.
Sir, actually, I have I have completed one internship in 6 months.
That is great, but here what I offer is after internship I pay a salary also, but not very huge. If you are really keen to work,
I have also NEFT payment completed on this company.
Which company?
Omisa Biotech Solution, Pune.
Acha.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I can share the calls also. Means there is another portal that I will share. Actually, I thought to create before the session itself, but it is not allowing me. I'll create that forms. I'll take all your resumes, and I have the HR contacts also from many companies and from my current company. I'll be sharing your profiles to them or their contacts to you. That way I can help.
Okay.
Otherwise, for interview purpose, after these sessions, you will be having enough content to face any interview. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, I made a payment yesterday, but no confirmation yet. Yeah, Sripad, you can share me that screenshot with me. Let me check also. Yesterday, if you have done, they have shared me
Sure.
confirmation candidates link or list also. I'll check it right away. DURGASOFT. Yeah, your confirmation they have taken. Okay. Sripad, right? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you all. If no questions, we will close it for today. Okay.
Thank you, Naveen.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye everyone.